This is a meeting of the Drum Point Property Owners Board of Directors. The meeting is being recorded, and I've lost my brains. The Robert's Rules of Order are observed. Please be recognized by the chair before you speak. I have a couple of things going on. One of them is it's time to get with John Norris about the STD, movement of funds from STD to mandatory assessment as dictated by the current agreement we have with the county for an STD. I would like to discuss that, but for reasons of not disclosing our positions, I think I would like for us to go into an executive session at the end of our meeting tonight. So that's all I'm going to say about it. And that's all I have. I've been away, so I haven't been doing much. This doesn't look right.
Was it rewritten?
Didn't already elect officers?
Oh, that's my fault. Just if you're waiting.
No public comment? Okay, wait, so the last meeting minutes were distributed for July 12th. Do I have a motion about the minutes?
Accept.
Second? Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Okay, that's done. Office update, Rhea, we'll be out here in 10 minutes. So
The auditor, the CPA from Toll Griffith and Regula, our accountants, was here on the 15th and conducted the audit. He was here from about 10 until 3:30 or so. And it went really well. I was very pleased.
10 to 3:30, that was it?
Yeah. Well, it was quicker this year because we're doing it better.
Because we're doing it their way.
That could be it. But he might need a few more documents and so on, but he said it went really well. I've filed additional claims against 6 properties. The total, if we collect it all, will be $2,447. Cost to file is $284 for all of them, but we always collect that from the property owner. Property taxes are due. Total property taxes this year are $2,068 versus $1,926 last year. It's an increase of $141, and the increase is on this property, the house itself, not the vacant lots. They stay the same. Also, I have a form, a Christmas and April form. If anybody has any recommendations of properties they know here in Drum Point that could use a Christmas and April makeover, are you familiar with Christmas and April?
I'm familiar with the phrase, but I guess I don't know exactly what it is.
It's a group of volunteers comes together and will take a property and rehab it. Maybe, I don't know, roof, whatever it might need, and so on.
Painting, maybe put in handicapped accessible, that kind of thing.
So if you know of anybody,
Do they do windows?
Replace or clean?
The idea is that someone who actually can afford it.
Right. Obviously, yeah. The only other thing is if you stick around the officers, well, I don't have Paula and I don't have Jack, but Libby, if you'll stick around, and Gary, I've got some signature card paperwork to sign for the bank. I'm going to sign a check. That's it. That's all I have.
Wow, okay.
Deadline on that Christmas April.
September 30th, I think.
And so then.
Yeah, September
we do this
30th.
next April.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is round table, which is everybody has a chance to talk about what has been going on that they want to share. We'll start with Libby. What do you got, Libby?
Well, one thing is I found my notes from, I think, a couple meetings back. And it was at the same meeting, I think it was the general meeting, where the person had recommended putting in the trash cans.
Mm-hmm.
And the other item that was brought up at that meeting that I didn't have my notes before was June McCall was asking about, I think, a right-of-way being rolled. I'm sure by now it's been done, but just wanted to mention that because And I see we're gonna talk about Anchor Drive,
Stanford.
repairs, so. get to
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And,
Is that on the list? Yeah, well, yeah, it's on the roads.
no,
Okay. All right, Kurt?
Nothing.
Nothing. Tony?
No, I'll mention something under environmental and, you know, the ownership, waterfall ownership.
Okay.
I think we probably need to, at some point, based on these tree requests, just kind of scout around, see if we see any more that may need addressing. I kind of, unless it's obstructing something, I'm not sure we really want to spend a lot of money on
Exactly.
down trees, so.
I've been doing that in the past, and you're welcome to take up that. But frankly, if it's not in imminent danger of falling on the road, who cares? I mean, you know, especially as winter comes on, in the fall is when I really get, I was always got serious in the fall, because if it falls in the winter and
Yeah.
it's snowing and the road's blocked.
We had one go down on Pilot last night, but it was a very small one. My wife picked it up and moved it, but because
Good.
she-
Tree?
Yeah, she knew that as soon as the post lady turned into our street, she'd see that halfway down the street and not go down the street, you know.
Probably right.
It's the kind of post lady we have.
And there was your wife.
Okay. Okay, I was just glancing through the financials, since Jack isn't here, looking for where I thought there might be an issue, and there's not, so, but we'll come to that. Okay, committee reports. First thing is Jeff, you're it.
I guess we've had the award for paving of Deer Drive.
Oh, yeah, let me stop you. Let's affirm that. Remember,
Yeah,
we never voted on that technically. So I need a motion to approve the contract for Shihai.
Yes, Shihai paving.
As we discussed via email. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
And we've already agreed to this. This is just to affirm it. So all those in favor?
All right.
It's unanimous. Okay, great. Now, go ahead.
So initially, I contacted Bob Shihai in regards to when his intent was to mobilize and start work. And he indicated it's going to be around September 1st. He's working in the ranch club right now. And I met with him last Thursday out here and went over the whole job with him, all the scope and everything, make sure he understood what was expected of him, what he needed to do. And he again reiterated that as soon as he finished his work in ranch, which didn't sound like it was too far off, then he would plan to come right over here. I know he has a couple other little big things right here and there that he's still also closing out on, but I expect that around the first date is going to be, pretty good. But I also told him to give me a call and make sure he gave me at least preferably a week's notice to, as far as getting these letters out. I don't know how much time you need.
I have the list prepared in the letter, I just need to insert the dates
Okay.
type of thing, so I
Yeah,
think there's
if
only
we-
56 that are going out, so not too bad.
Okay, yeah, because we don't want to send them out too far in advance, then people tend to forget about it. So if for some reason I don't hear from him, by the end of next week, I'll contact him again. Because that was a week away from the first. But, and I also talked to him about just what how long he felt it was going to take him to do it, because he's not quite as set up as like he is. And he indicated probably 3 days of paving, and I expect 2 days of prep, 1 to 2 days of prep. So I would say the better portion of the week he'll be in there. And that's just to get through the paving portion, then he'll have to wait and then come back and work on do the shoulder work after a few days, at least a few days. So that work would probably take, could take into you know, the
Do it
better
by
part of
hand,
another
so it'll
week.
take a while.
Yeah, he's gonna do it by hand. Well, I expect he's gonna use, I would expect he'll use a skid loader and then he'll drop it and he'll rake it and he'll compact it. I told
For
him.
that much work, I think I'd make something.
Yeah, a shoulder box is a whole lot quicker and easier and faster.
Yeah, just hook it up and
You can just attach it to the dump truck and go right down the line.
then you'd have it for the next job.
Right, but, yeah, however, I said, I don't care if you plate camp it or roll it, but as long as you pack it.
So I could say up to a week.
A week to complete paving, you could say.
And then 2 or 3 days later, they'll come back and do a shoulder.
I wouldn't specify too much of a timeline on that because,
Shoulder
you know,
work won't be very disruptive.
it should be disruptive and it'll be, you know, he may elect to wait a week, you know, before he comes back.
Shortly.
Depending, you know, he's plans to attack it, if he's gonna be using a small skid loader, gonna wait a few extra days on it, I would expect. I'll have to go over that with him still. But, so anyways, we're looking at the same timeline, I think, is what he originally told us.
How long did the work take last year?
Bean, well, paved everything in a day. And then he waited about, might be 2 weeks. Well, he wasn't this slow, that was.
No, that's right, I'm going way
He
back.
did pay, he took forever coming back to do because we were going into winter, he didn't want to put it down
That's right.
when it was cold. But he waited, I think it was about 2 weeks and came back and ran everything in a day, you know, on the shoulder work. So, I mean, they're a bigger company, more set up to do that kind of work, obviously smaller.
And, you know, I don't think this is gonna be all that disruptive, since there's 2 ways in. They're gonna have flagmen and stuff, right?
Yeah, they'll be managing the traffic. The biggest thing would be, I don't know if you want to interject it in your letter or not, but to encourage people to go the opposite way from where they're paving if they're, you know, wanting egress or access. So that, you know, they don't try to drive over newly laid pavement because it needs to be rolled in preferably at least 10 minutes, you know, 20 minutes, half an hour before you put traffic
What
on
if
it.
you're coming out of your driveway?
They have to drive on it and they just have to roll out any marks, you know, but you like to not have to fight with traffic continually disrupting, you know, pressure laid pavement, so. It's not much you can do about it. People gotta go, they gotta go.
Right.
All you do is ask them to try to comply as best as they're able to, you know, with the operation.
Are we going to use our signage that we have that we draw?
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah, it'd be another heads
Maybe
up.
Chris can do that, or myself. But yeah, to throw the signs up, you know, there's a little,
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just goes out that way, they'll.
and we'll put them up a day or two.
One question, you don't have any idea what days, I know you got a number of different refuse companies in here, but, you know, what day necessarily,
Evergreen comes on a Monday, I know that.
huh?
Evergreen comes on Monday.
I think they're the biggest now.
Oh, they might be.
Yeah, they stole a lot of
They're the
business.
least expensive.
Is that right?
Looking around at but because we were with, what's it called, Bay Area, I guess, and I think they come the same day.
Okay, because I'm gonna encourage him not to,
I think Monday's a
on
big
that.
day.
Yeah, I mean, his intent right now is really, and I recommend that he consider pulling out, like the, I've got it right here. The court, down at the bottom,
Fort
David.
Fort David, pull Fort David out, pull out that little extension, you know, bring that out, and he said he'd also like to pull Captain's Way, you know, in the first day, so that leaves him the main line.
Just go. Yeah.
He can just go, and that'll take him a couple days to do.
What
So,
about
and
school
that,
buses? Sorry.
I'm sorry,
What about school buses?
we get a lot of school buses
I
down
have no
there?
idea.
Maybe not so many down on Deer Drive.
I mean,
A lot of
yeah,
retired
a lot of,
people,
yeah,
but I
most of
bet
them, a
there
lot
are
of those
some.
are retired. There's gotta be some kids down there, I think.
We're down here, and we're paving all of this. I don't know about school buses down there. This is Court David, and this is Captain's Way.
And we which part, we're doing all of the?
Up to the
From
point
here?
right there.
Okay.
All the way
Yeah. I wonder,
I don't know.
I wonder if there's any way we could find out if they do have,
I can call transportation, school bus transportation. So if there are school buses, then,
Do they even go down?
well,
Well,
that's
the
what I'll
question.
ask. but
Is
I
there
mean,
any bus stops?
Well,
So
that
if
they drive?
they do, then,
yeah, I mean, we'll have to deal with it, they'll have to deal with it. I mean, what, essentially, you know, they come on the earlier side, you know, to pick the kids
well,
up.
high schoolers get picked up at 6:30. They start
Right,
pretty
I mean,
early.
when they go to pay, they're gonna have, they have to have fabric installed first. So there's usually a slight time delay, and then they're gonna pay one side before they jump back to catch the other, so there'll be a lane through that a bus would be able to drive on. But it's nice knowing what to anticipate.
I'll call
So,
transportation.
yeah, if you can find out something, because I'm gonna try and give them as much information as possible, so he can tailor his activities, so it's the least disruptive.
Alright.
Great.
Anyways, that's, pretty much
So
everything I have.
They might start before September.
It's possible, but
Don't
yeah, I wouldn't count on it, and we'll have some notice. So as soon as I hear something, Rhea, I'll
Yeah.
let you know. And then, like I said, if I don't hear from him by towards the end of the next week, I'll contact him
Okay.
for an updated, start date. And I'll let you know right away.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions for you, Joe?
that's it, I mean.
Okay, cool.
I'll look out, and if you don't need me for anything else. You don't have
It's
to.
looking good down there on Dow Road.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
See ya.
All right, we'll see you later.
Yeah. Okay, the next one's roads committee is about the standpipe repair. We reached out, myself and Rhea, reached out to
Jake,
lots of people. I mean, it was 3 people at least.
yeah.
Only one person returned a bid. And it was Jake Calvin for $2,300. I have it here somewhere.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Yeah.
What's going to be required is, doesn't require a bulkhead or whatever to keep the water off of it. It just needs, the top part needs to be rebuilt, is all it is. I think $2,300 is a bit high, frankly, but it's the only bid we have. It is not, I wouldn't call it a safety hazard. People shouldn't be on it at all, really, but there's no sign, don't get on it. But it is, it's concerning because it's lopsided.
Do some of the, people that fished on there, is that what they're ever standing on? Do they stand on
They stand on it all the time.
it?
Really?
Yeah,
And
As
it's
nasty as that water looks right now? They fish in there?
they're down there all the time fishing. I live right there, so I see them all the
Well, I
time.
see them too, yeah. What, and they catch fish?
They do, they catch some good sized largemouth, yeah.
That's what they do on the Laurel House.
And what is the problem with the thing, the water's not
The,
going through?
so it's, no, the water, actually it's performing the function it's supposed to perform, which is to trap logs and limbs to keep them from going down the drain hole
Okay.
out to the creek. So it's still doing that, but it's not doing it as well because it's lopsided. So what that is there's a big drain pipe, cast iron drain pipe, and welded to that or attached to that are these posts that come up, and then this corrugated steel metal thing around with a lid on it. That's all it is. And what happens is the water comes up, it goes underneath the corrugated and into the pipe and keeps crap that's in the water at bay, so it doesn't clog the pipe. That's all it is. It's not a big deal. The corrugated pipe's rusted out. All the pipes, the supports are rusted out. 2 of them have failed. Actually, it's still very sturdy even with the 2 failed ones. $2,300. It needs to be repaired. Because if somebody gets up in there and hurts themselves, they're just gonna say, yeah, well, you didn't have a post. Maybe we should post it, I don't know, but it needs to be fixed. So, this is the only bid we have. I think we need to go with it. So I'll either talk about it or
we
we
need a motion then? or-
Oh, well,
Yeah, we need a
should you
motion.
think- I mean, how off do you think it is? And what were you expecting?
I expected around 1,500, after I got a good look at it. I had no idea until I went down and looked at it. And, because I thought it was gonna require a water dam system, and the whole thing was gonna have to be redone, but that's not the case at all. It's really just a big welding job.
So what's the name of the?
Jake Allen Woods, the only
Jake-
ones
oh,
that
that's
gave us
got
a job.
Okay, so Jake Allen Woods has, okay. Can I make a motion that?
Yes.
That we accept the proposal from Jake Allen Woods to repair the standpipe for $2,300?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay.
All right, done.
But you know, we ought to put a, no keep off or no climbing sign.
Yeah, we should get a,
Something appropriate. Whether they go on it or not, at least if they fall off, we can say we have a sign.
yeah, don't we have a keep out or some kind of sign? Ask Chris to dig through there.
Maybe you can ask him as a favor to add.
I think we have, I'm pretty sure.
That'd be another $200. Shouldn't we have one at all?
Say again?
There's another standpipe that they do.
Yeah, but they're not in danger or even in
But
problem.
I think the point of, if they're something we don't want people to stand on,
Oh, I see, you're talking about a
then we
sign.
should put a sign on all of them.
Sure, let's do it all.
What's this? So it's just gonna be a sort of semi-permanent sort of sign that says what, like danger, keep off, or?
Right.
or-
Whatever we have in
Please don't.
our signage
Okay,
stash.
whatever we
I might have
have.
to-
I mean, whatever, there's a flat surface, you can put something.
Well, we can put it, we have lots of metal posts, we can put a metal post in there and attach to it.
Well, Jerry make a sign, welcome, keep off.
No hunting or fishing, no kidding. Actually, I don't have any problem with anybody fishing there. I think even though they're on private property, because they walk around that lake and fish and it's on people's private property,
Do
but
they, oh,
that's
okay.
not our business.
Yeah, I only seen them over by the side of the road, but they all go around to those backyards.
They
I
do.
was wondering what whose property that was, because I've gone back there and,
It's privately owned. That's the only place in this community that I'm aware of where we don't have a strip of land. The association,
oh,
which is kind of weird, because all the rest of them have. All of Tidewater has that strip of land, which I think we wanted to talk about tonight. Did we? Okay, so let's move on then. Jack's not here, so we're gonna skip
Can I just
finances.
say one more quick thing about finance? If anybody looks at the finance, or the balance sheet and notices all these ARs are starting to kind of pile up at the top, accounts receivable columns, I'm going to be combining the older prior so that we aren't, I mean, over the years, we'd have a page of them if I keep doing prior years. So I just want to let you know, I'm going to talk to the accountant to make sure how to do that. On the balance sheet, under accounts receivable. That's it.
Is there any questions about finances? If you have some, email Jack. My only concern was about, because we've been spending a lot of money on casual labor and mowing and stuff, and it's that time of year, but we're okay, we're doing fine. So, okay.
And then you go to the county district.
Next is environmental committee. Amy's not here, but you said you
Yeah, I
want to say
think,
something?
yeah, well, I
Go ahead.
remember, you know, many months ago, we decided we were gonna do something about the Frank Mighty situation, contact the state or whatever, and we even budgeted some money for it. Do we know what's happening? Is anything
I
happening?
mean, basically, Amy's the person who's been following all that, so it's kind of hard.
Without Amy
So
here,
we
I have
don't
no
know.
clue.
Okay, so we wait.
Know what Frank Myers.
Frank Mineys, you know what Frank Mineys is? It's that ornamental seagrass that everybody wants to kill.
Big tall, they grow big tall like this,
Yeah,
bushy
we're
thing
in
on
the
the top.
seagrass, that's polite.
So the pond by your place, you see all of the reeds up at the end of the pond, and that's all Frank Myers, it's all invasive species.
Came from Australia.
It's probably all down across.
There's a big stand of it when you come down the hill and the
Yeah.
causeway, there's a big stand on the left.
I'm
On
telling
the
you,
left, so I'm coming down the road and
Going home,
and
it's
it's
on the left.
on the left, so it's not in the pond, it's on the other
Something
side.
is that.
And it's
You
tall
gotta see
and
the
has a
Danube
thing.
Delta.
Yeah, that big
You've
bushy
mentioned it
thing.
before, but I didn't know what it was, because I'm running with all this other
It's
grass.
relative.
Yeah, it's a rhizome that grows underneath and
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to get rid of,
It's like
and
bamboo or something.
it's
all the way up to Maine,
Like right
you know, you
now.
got it everywhere.
Oh.
It's a big problem.
All over the state.
So what's the idea that?
I see it all over the place. I see it in New York State, I see it in the mountains in New York. I mean, it's-
Real eradication is absolutely, I think, impossible unless you get every homeowner to go out there and really start working at it.
Yeah.
But on the public parts, the problem is it can actually clog, like, drainage areas.
which is what our problem is.
You know, and then you got a problem.
Yeah, we do have a problem with a drainage area over on Surf that's clogged with it. It's the only place I know where it's a real problem
No, yeah, there it is a problem, you know, it's,
with that wooden bridges.
yeah.
Okay, planning committee, no report because we haven't had a meeting. Safety committee is, Peter's not here, but he did email some stuff out about messing with down power lines.
I put it on the
To the-
website.
And it went to the safety committee. So he's, even though he's not here, he'll be back by the second week of September. And Paul's not here, so nothing from the welcoming committee, unless somebody's got something. Okay. Any old business? This might be a good place to bring up the property that DPPI owns between property line and the water, if we want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you had some information on that, Libby? On the riparian strips?
No, I don't really have any new information other than I did check, I don't know whether you ever heard back from Chris McNellis after that, but the proper, that deal did close. I checked to see if it closed, because remember, she was concerned,
Oh, Chris McNellis?
that, well, she was concerned that it might not, well, we were all concerned that her riparian right of way might not satisfy the title insurance, but apparently it did because the deal closed. So, do you want to talk about that now, or does it?
Well, let me open it, if, I you want to talk about it?
Well,
You want to
no,
talk about it?
my question is, I really don't have any, real position on it. I'm just sort of concerned that we sort of treat everybody the same way, so that we don't get this, well, you did that for him, but not for me, you didn't tell me, you told him, and, you told Sally, but not Jimmy. And is there some sort of universal solution that we can just apply once and just be done? Or is it impossible?
I don't believe there is. There is not a legal mechanism to release the riparian rights to all the property owners in one fell swoop. They all have to be done individually.
Right. Well, I guess I wanted to talk about it tonight a little bit, not because I necessarily have the answer, but to me, it is something that I would, maybe like to take on as a project, or because I think it's a serious thing for anyone with waterfront. I would put that transaction in jeopardy. People almost couldn't sell their property, and that's a big financial kind of hazard that's just sitting there that could affect any of the waterfront owners whenever they try to sell. And so to me, it seems like our responsibility, if we know that risk is there, that we as a board should try to do something about it, because that's a broke. I wouldn't want to be in that position trying to sell. These are important transactions to people, and I guess the other part of it is, like, of course, when I bought my property, nobody said anything to me about that. I thought I was buying waterfront. I think that's true for most people. Well, I'm a realtor, now that I know about that, when I'm selling my property, I have a duty to disclose. Actually, all of you do, but, I really do, because I can lose my license if I don't. And and that would be true if I was handling anyone else's property, representing them as their agent. I would have to disclose it, so now that puts all my clients at a disadvantage. So I just think it's wrong, not wrong, like you're doing, but I think it's not good to leave this problem in place for property owners.
Well, then, in other words, but from what you said, then, all real estate agents, when they were selling property around here, waterfront property, they should have disclosed it, did they?
If they knew.
Oh, they had to know.
Well, I don't know.
No, they didn't have, no, she
But
didn't.
but you're only required to use the state's disclosure form, aren't you? As far as
You know,
disclosure?
if there's any kind of latent defect in the property, then, you know, so it's like if I know, and actually as property owners, this is true for you too, but, so if you know that there's something wrong with the property that can't be readily observed,
Like a tank in the ground.
a tank in the ground, well, there's actually a special disclosure for that, but really, it's something like a leak. If you know that you've got a leak in the roof or something like that, or that you have a leaky basement, a wet basement, you have a duty to disclose it. And so as a real estate agent, I've got to disclose that stuff. And actually, Maryland realtors, it's worse here than in Virginia. Maryland realtors actually do have a duty to discover, because
That's interesting.
the laws are fiduciary versus statutory as they are in Virginia. So anyway, I just think it's a problem that we should try to do something about. I'll just tell you my other thoughts on it, is that we're going to be working with John Norris. Somehow it seems like we're going to have to work with the rules in order to put ourselves in a position where we are able to collect the monies we need, right? So I'm sort of,
No, I think we've already done that.
okay, well then, I guess I was anticipating that we're going to be having discussions with our attorney anyway, as far as what the bylaws allow us to do. And really, I think what we need in this situation is just for the board to have the ability to do those full quitclaim deeds.
Full quickly?
Yeah, that the board used to do, but now we feel.
Well, I can
can't.
tell you what the mechanism for that is, but I have a question for you first. Why is this a problem? It's being a layman, what I see is, I've got a piece of property, yeah, okay, I'm on the water, but if I looked at my plat, I'd see I didn't own this, or I should have known, somehow, that I don't have this. And so if I'm selling it as waterfront, it does face on the water, but it's not contiguous to the water.
Well, because, I mean, I can
But
tell you
they-
that all these listings, in all the listings,
Yeah,
in the,
they're all
unless
waterfront.
well, they're waterfront, but not only that, it says riparian rights. If you look at the tax records, I'm pretty sure that if I went to my tax record, it says I have riparian rights. Well, I don't. And the reason it's a problem is because the title insurance company won't let the,
And
in that
that's-
case, wouldn't let the transaction go through.
Okay, so here's we do have a remedy,
Okay.
and the according to our bylaws, I think this is the bylaws, yes, the bylaws, we are not allowed to make any kind of real estate transaction, purchase or sell without,
Encumbrance.
or an encumbrance, without general membership approval, which we got, which the prior board, several boards ago, got from the community in a general meeting and there was a big discussion about this. Should it be just quit claim, let them have the property, or should it be riparian rights only? And it was only approved for riparian rights. So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Right.
We have the right to do that because that was granted by the general membership. So that could go back to the general membership and ask them, are you willing to give up all the rights, full quitclaim? But that, we can't, as a board, we can do nothing like that. I can tell you that right now. We don't have the right to do anything other than what the general membership
Says
on the houses.
Oh, I know, okay.
So my concern is we literally cannot take any action. We have to react whenever anybody asks. We can't
Yep.
go out and say, okay, look, everybody come forward and get your lollipop.
Well, I guess we could. I mean, we could say, if you're sending a letter to everybody in Waterfront saying, or here's an issue, if you want to resolve it, ask for riparian rights, quitclaim.
And so then you have riparian rights, but you could still be in the situation that, I don't remember the name of the property owners, but that Kristen McNall's client was in a position where she,
Yeah, but if all
But
we
they
can
don't
do, if all we can do is.
Never did own it. That property was never sold with that property.
Well, that's what bugged me.
Although,
We had
yeah,
that discussion.
so I understand what you're saying, but from the day that the community was developed, that property was never meant to be sold. Belongs to DPPOA.
What-
So,
In real estate, terms, what does the term waterfront mean?
Well, in this case, what it would mean, I mean, you say you own up to that, what is it, the average high water mark, is that?
That's what it means by definition.
That's,
but
I think by
I
the
think that's
Maryland
generally
law.
accepted, yeah.
I would,
And then you have the riparian rights. So
Right,
you're saying
right.
you grant the riparian rights, but not the ownership.
right, but knowing that that strip of land is of little value to a person, because you can't do anything with it. It's important to the homeowner maybe, but anyone else, if they were to buy that, if anyone owned it, it wouldn't be worth anything, you couldn't do anything with
It's
it.
not worth anything, I mean, that's what.
It's
you
not
guys
worth
said
anything to us,
last
to keep
meeting.
people away.
Yeah, because
Right.
it doesn't even show up on the balance sheet or anything, but.
You just heard?
I
Okay.
don't know, I mean, the main reason I look for this problem is because it's the problem that was brought forward to this transaction, that the title, it wasn't considered marketable title. Because, you know, again, your real estate isn't just the land, it's the improvements on the land. So house,
See, that's where I have a problem,
and so
because
those
that
dogs-
property was defined as this piece of property, it never was waterfront.
Well,
Well,
Again,
but-
It abutted the water, but it was never waterfront,
Well,
because the property line stopped at,
but it is, everybody's buying it with.
I don't
being
care.
told That it's.
Literally, it was never subdivided as waterfront property. Because the property line goes between the water.
right,
So
but
how,
you're never gonna have
sure
anybody
it's
else building
marketable.
between
If
you and
you
the water.
sell it as how it was subdivided, it's marketable.
It's waterfront for tax purposes. But I tell people, when they come in here, they wanna know, you know, where are the water access points and so on. And if I say, for instance, the steps down to the beach on Bay Drive, I might also say to them, well, you know, these are waterfront properties, but there's a strip. And you have the right as a Maryland resident to walk up and down the beach below the mean high water mark.
Yeah, that's Maryland property,
Right.
State of Maryland.
So it does make a difference. No,
But-
you can't go in there and build a house on
Yeah,
it,
well,
Right,
but you can walk
But
on
you
it.
say mean high water, but a lot of these things, you're talking about dropping off into the river or the cove. There is no,
Beach or.
there's no high or low because it's on the side of a bank.
Right.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
In many
So-
cases,
so
that's.
that makes a
that's-
difference.
That's your point.
Yes, in
Now,
many
if the
cases,
beach,
that's-
if it was down on the Tunset or something and you're walking along the sand, that's a different story, because then, yeah, there is
Well,
a,
I
it's hard to-
suspect that when this was all set up, there were beaches along all those creeks.
Probably.
And since then, you know, the break walls have been put in, and now it's
Well, and the
backfilled.
water's risen.
Yeah, and the water's gone up and blah, 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 but, you know.
okay.
And how does this, I mean, okay, how does this affect beachfront people?
It does. In fact, we had a big brouhaha with a property owner, which I won't say the name, that had a property off of Lake
Oh,
Drive
yeah.
by Ed Surf. And the property owner kept telling people, get off my property. And people who live there came to us and said, Dave, they're not letting us on the beach. So I went down and talked to him and said, well, it's my beach. He said, no, it's not. What do you makes you think it's your beach? Well, I bought waterfront property. I said, oh, you did? Well, show me your plat. Here's my plat. I said, there's a property line right there. You don't own the beach. You don't own any part of the beach. In fact, your property line is 20 feet back from mean high water. That beach doesn't belong to you. Who owns it then? DPPOA owns it.
Well,
Okay,
so
I'm
then-
sorry,
So
but
then,
I didn't.
as the board and
So-
so on, what's our, because you mentioned this, I think, Gary, last time we were talking about, is also, or maybe someone else did, but the question about liability and any maintenance and, of the, well, I don't know what exactly you would have to do to maintain, but, does DPPOA see a responsibility to maintaining?
Well, we're
or-
covered on our general liability insurance for that.
It is
In
covered?
terms of maintenance, we've never had to do anything
Yeah.
that I can remember.
Yeah.
But I guess if something were to happen, it would be our responsibility.
Well, then,
I don't know what that would be exactly, but for
Well,
example,
what if they had a storm wash? Say the same,
well,
they had a heavy,
Mother Nature takes and
Yeah.
gives.
Yeah,
but
I
for
lost
example,
5
like
feet
if
of
somebody's dock got,
land.
because if you own the land, you own the improvement, so if somebody's dock was damaged. Now, of course, DPPOA could just make the decision, well, we don't
You don't
care.
want a doctor anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But,
But if they had riparian rights, that would allow them to have a dock, and the
Yes,
dock
it
would be
would.
theirs.
yeah.
So that's a good reason for people to have
Well,
riparian rights.
do the waterfront people, the beach people get riparian rights?
They can have it if they want it.
But what real effect does it have?
It allows you to put a breakwater or what do you call
put
it?
something.
The jetty, but the jetty's
Or
already there.
put a dock out, or,
Well, the dock, who's gonna put
but
a dock?
not on the, maybe not on the bayside, but you could.
But I mean, you know, like, because, you know, the reason I ask is because I'm in the process, my jetty was falling apart, I'm fixing it. I mean, I know
Or
it's
if you have riparian
it's in the
rights.
water, I know it's not mine, I know that, please. But,
Oh, the jetty, I know what
yeah,
you're
the
talking
jetty's not
Yeah.
mine. I realize that, but, you know, but
But you're doing the.
how does that work? Because I was under the impression, you know, mean high water to water, that's public property.
That's right.
Water's Maryland, mean high water to water, above
That's
mean high
right.
water is my property.
No.
See that, there, I'm confused.
Well,
Well,
it
you
depends
have
on
to
your
look
on your plat.
Oh, I gotta look at my,
You have to look at the plot to see how far, because our, in
I
our
actually
case,
have a copy of it.
okay, I'd have to look at the plat, okay.
I mean, the way our survey, well,
Because yours is, I saw yours, and it doesn't draw the line. It shows the post where the perpendicular property line comes to the water, and it shows where it stops. But they just didn't draw a line between the two, and there is a line that goes between the two.
no, it's drawn in, I think there it is, I think it is drawn in.
Okay.
So then it's
I
like,
thought when I looked at it, that I couldn't see.
and you know, when you're not familiar with, what waterfront means, you know, and you're buying, but as far as you know, you're at the title company and you're buying waterfront property, and so I wouldn't have known to look at that and realize, there it is. So there is a line, and then I guess here it says approximate mean high tide. I still don't really know that.
So it doesn't say who owns that property between
No, it doesn't say.
your property.
Well, it doesn't even indicate that there is a strip of
But there's a
land.
line.
Where?
Well, I mean,
What's
basically.
above mean high water mark?
They should use the mean high water mark, so
Uh-huh.
that's a
But-
line, that's what they're drawing, so, but there's no definition of what's between your plat and that.
Right.
There's no indication of
Okay,
ownership
so
So
whatsoever.
mean high tide, so that's where that's as far as the water comes up.
Ever will come.
So it's, yeah,
Well-
so it's,
Except
I mean, so basically, that
They didn't
strip
put
is,
that in there, so it's a good.
it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't indicate like I don't know, it's misleading
I agree.
to somebody who's buying, you know, waterfront and doesn't, you know, you're certainly being told that you, and you are, probably, if I looked at it'd be interesting to look at the deed and see whether it says that I have riparian rights anywhere. So,
I'd be fascinated.
Well, it probably
Wouldn't
would,
mention this at all, but I was.
because, again,
how could it? If it doesn't-
exactly, yeah.
But you certainly, I mean, I can tell you that, and that when you look at this stuff in the tax record, that is, you know, part of the public record that you can look at in the Realtor database, it says riparian rights, and so then that is what is put into the listing, that you've got riparian rights, it's waterfront. So waterfront seems to me means you own to that line, which is how it's defined. And yet-
Okay, yes, that's right. Normally you would think that, but why did they call out with riparian rights if it's waterfront property?
Because some waterfront property doesn't have riparian rights.
Ah,
What about like,
so it doesn't have the full, if you own the property all the way to the water, you don't have the full bundle of sticks?
Sometimes you do not have riparian rights. Based on what I've seen
I don't
in,
think I've ever seen that.
well, I've seen it listed in that way.
Okay,
what
Because
happens?
I always, when I was looking for property, I always checked, oh, I'm looking at a waterfront lot, does it have riparian rights, yes, no? And, you know, sometimes it says no, and I don't know why that is.
I would think in my mind, and I guess maybe I'm just making this stuff up, but if it said riparian rights, I would think, why is it saying just riparian rights instead of the full rights Why would
What
you
are-
call that
what's-
just riparian rights?
Well, what's the other right?
Well, all the rights that are, the rights to the mineral, you have the right to the sand, you have all these rights that go with the fee simple ownership.
Yeah, well,
Why
because
would
it
you
says
call
fee
that just the
simple.
one?
Well, because
Fee
some,
simple means with riparian rights.
no,
Fee simple is all the rights.
fee simple is the fullest ownership, but there are certainly properties that apparently do not have riparian rights.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be fee simple then, would it?
Yes, it is. It's fee simple, it's just how you hold title. It doesn't necessarily, I
I
mean,
don't know, okay. If you're more averse to this than I am, but I always thought that fee simple was the full bundle of sticks, all of the rights to ownership.
I have a curiosity, what happened to that little strip of land on all the houses along Bay Drive? Where people have built decks and breakwaters that the water laps up on? That 3 feet strip of water
Well,
has
if the water,
disappeared.
yeah, as land disappears, not only does,
Well, I'm not sure that they have built out to it, that's all.
maybe they have,
The last
and they got
one,
away with it.
Oh, everybody there has gotten away
well,
with
and
it.
it was my understanding when one of those owners did that, okay, yes, they did it, but I as a property owner, or you, or any of us, actually have the right to walk up over their deck and back down the other side.
well, that's what
It'd
Vince
be a
was
cold
concerned
day.
about.
Not that it's- not that I would do it.
Attention, because most people don't know that.
Like on the city.
You know, but he was concerned that teenagers would do that and all that. So, I don't know. Well, it's, you know, we can
Well,
sort of
I-
discuss
I
this.
don't
I,
know.
It's not
I
urgent.
agree that it's something that's screwy. But I think my point of view of it is, just because someone was not aware that they weren't buying property as advertised, doesn't mean, that they have the right to it.
I'm not saying they do have the right to it, I'm just saying that it's misleading. There's only one other sort of remedy to this for the property owner, and, you know, I don't know whether this would apply or work in this case, but that would be to make a claim to it through adverse possession. So, but that would,
Well, all we have to do is send a letter to everybody saying, we own this property, but you can use it.
if you don't have the riparian rights but you've been using it, that's hostile
But
use
if,
of the land.
well,
You
again,
know,
Always-
riparian rights, by definition, is not using the water. It's taking the water out and using it on your property.
well, that's one of the definitions, yeah.
Well, I'm looking, this legal.
Oh, well, what it really means that in real estate is the ability to sort of build things, have a dock and use it. And it's also, it's the right, I mean, what you might be looking at is, because when you have riparian rights, you have the upstream rights, so that if somebody upstream blocks the water from coming down, then they're violating your rights. You have the right for that water to come. So, anyway, whatever.
We should look into it and try to come up with, but the bottom line is, as a board, we have no power to do anything other than what the general membership will allow us to do. If we want to put together a package and take it to the general membership meeting and try to change that, I'm okay with that, because it's whatever the general membership wants. I will tell you, last time this came up, it was a big thing. You would have thought the world was coming to an end.
Okay, so that's, I mean, I sort of gather that you don't want to address it in that way.
That's the only reason I did not.
Well, I think, Gary, that's because it was considered to be common ownership land.
Right.
The thing was that you didn't want to give away any common ownership land.
Right.
Well,
Maybe the proposal would be that we sell it.
Sell
I
it to
thought
Tell
that's
them
against
to
the rules,
that-
you're not
that
allowed
was
to
your
sell
idea.
it. Yeah.
No, but if you bring it to the
No, you
membership.
can do it,
Well, that was
if
my
they agree
idea.
to it.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Just
Tell
like
everybody.
Like I said, a package.
And
to take
here's
it.
So that would be
what
money
it
if
is.
someone come in, yeah.
But
so-
you can only buy the piece
Oh,
that
in front of
that's
your property, only
and-
only that piece in front
And
of your property.
there's one other sort of parallel thing, or situation that I was thinking, when I was thinking of this, is in a condominium development, for example. You can have condos, and when people have a balcony on their condo, that typically is what's termed a limited common element. So they don't actually own it. They don't own the balcony. It's owned by the condo association. And the condo association has the responsibility to maintain it. Like, you're not allowed to paint, or like if the cement gets cracked, they're supposed to fix it and that kind of thing. So it's a limited common element, which means, kind of what you were saying, that only the person or the party who owns that condo has the use of it. That's why it's a limited common element. It's limited to the use of just that, exclusively by that owner. But it is owned by the condominium association and has to be maintained and so on. So I don't know if, apparently, or I don't know if in somehow, because DPPOA owns all this strip of land, if they also make any kind of designation or definition. Probably not, because this was,
47,
yeah, all done before there even was such a thing as condominium
Yeah,
ownership.
that's-
So,
wasn't even thought about.
yeah.
But it was thought about in that they purposely drew the line back from the water. I can't tell you why, but that's the way all of the lots are, every one of them.
According to John Gray, Paul Kerman wanted everybody to have access to water. That's why he did, that's
And
why
there
there are
are.
easements.
There are easements all over, a lot of them aren't developed, but there are easements all over the community to get to the water,
Oh, there are?
all over the place, yeah.
There are little tiny slots.
They're all overgrown, we haven't maintained them, nobody uses them.
Some of them don't have much beach at the bottom.
There are, there's a
No,
couple. There's a couple of them that are maintained, to the main
The
beaches,
one down.
we've maintained those.
There's
There's one up there on Calvert Drive to get down on, there's one right here that goes down like this. It used to be a big old wooden stairway that went down in between these lots to right here, to get into the creek. Nobody ever uses, so it went into disrepair and just all ran shankled down. There's
There's one right there where you're,
Right
at
here?
your point right there.
Yep, there's a lot all over the place, man, a lot.
Little bit.
Anyway, yeah, I think you're right, that's probably why it's that way. Everybody got a
I
right to
can
go.
tell you, there's
All right,
one right down here that
I guess the reason I wanted to bring it up tonight,
where's the lake?
long way around this, because I thought we were gonna talk about making some adjustments to how we operate in connection with the SUD.
Great beach.
Because I thought we were gonna have to sort of change our ability to collect money in order with that. So I thought, well, while we're talking to the attorney about that, we might see if there's some way we can, because, anyway, that's why I wanted to.
And we will
mention
talk
that.
about that.
So, there's
When we go
nothing
in that
urgent
section.
about this whole thing. That was the only reason I wanted to bring it up tonight, is to
Okay.
make it part of that future conversation with the attorney, but maybe that's not germane, so.
Okay, we're gonna move on then.
Sorry.
No, it's a really important discussion to actually have an expert witness thing for a case up in Cecil County, which is for the Property Owners Association. So some of this is germane to what I'm working on.
Okay, new business revised. We need someone to step up and dig into the policies and procedures manual, work with Rhea to see, and with the board in general, to see if, what can be revised or should be revised, what the revisions should be and that sort of thing. Jack's not here, I nominate Jack.
That's sad with the,
No, you know, actually, I think Jack and I could probably work with Rio on that, you know.
I don't mind
Well,
helping
it
with it.
starts
I
with
just
reading.
don't-
Yeah, we
I'm
haven't
not
been
sure
around long
that's
enough
the
to know what they
How
are.
thick,
Yeah.
how thick is this policy manual?
It's about you, but you should have one.
Yeah, well, I've got
You
it
can do
over
it
here.
just in the evening. so that's things
Here's a copy of it right here.
Right.
Oh, no, I think I have one at home.
Yeah, it's,
you
I don't mind helping with it, I just don't feel like, it's another one of those things where
We
I
don't-
don't feel like I know enough to.
It hasn't been revised in like 5 years and things have changed. So it needs,
But, you know, even independent, you may have an independent, view of what's said in there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can-
A lot of good that.
maybe this would work
So
better
far,
another
you
way.
can see that doesn't help us.
Well, maybe you and I should read it and say, this doesn't make sense, or this doesn't make
Sure,
sense.
yeah, and
Bring
I
it
did,
over.
I did sort of.
Well, everybody read it.
Okay, that's
I've
all.
read it.
Okay.
Should we make that a future?
Well, I'm
Yeah,
Yeah, when I was first,
Want to have a
getting
reading
involved
party?
with, I remember you mentioned the monthly meetings, and then you said that there are often sort of, on the like, other 2-week interval, like planning meetings or workshop meetings or,
Or special meetings, yeah.
okay.
And,
Or
we
maybe
could,
it's
we could easily form a committee to,
Or ad hoc committee?
an ad hoc committee, obviously, yeah. If you and Jack, do you guys wanna work on it too?
Yeah, I'll be
So,
happy to help. I
Well,
just-
So-
I'll wait for,
So I would move that we create an ad hoc committee called the Policies and Procedures Committee to explore changes and revisions to the policies and procedures. And the members be Libby, John, Jack, and Tony.
and Rhea's the chairman.
And
Yeah, no,
with Rita as consultant.
She's the
The way forward.
she's the technical consultant.
So do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Done. So you guys get together, meet whenever you want. And let us know, if they have to be posted 24 hours in advance. If you're gonna have a meeting, you have to let Rhea know 24 hours in advance so she'll get it. It's a state law.
Is it, and is the, who's invited to
Everybody.
the meet, the membership? Does it, something have to go out to the whole membership?
It goes on the website and if they bother to look, they would know and are welcome to come.
If they have a phone, that'd be great.
It's state law,
Okay.
state law,
Like the
Maryland
HOA?
HOA
Oh,
Act.
okay.
That's what all the empty chairs are for.
Oh, I knew about that, and I knew about our meetings, but I didn't know that every meeting of any.
Every meeting.
And just as an aside, we have at least 1,000 hits a month on our website. We had 2,000 hits in June. Well, that's really pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, people gotta get jobs.
A lot of realtors go there for
Sure.
Okay, so good luck.
Wait, you said that.
I did this on
Good
my own
luck.
last time, 5 years ago, I did it all by myself, because nobody wanted to get involved. Beach security, well, we have been having the sheriff come out randomly, and I think it's had some effect. I don't know what effect. We have repaired the cameras are all repaired and
Yes, they are.
in working order again. Haven't had any problems in the last month.
I haven't been down there, for some time, but my wife was down there, and she said that the beach is built up again. So it's actually.
Not in bad shape. Mother Nature gives, Mother Nature takes away, it comes and goes. We get, sometimes when the beach gets eroded, we get all freaked out and we want to bring in truckloads of sand, right? Just relax, it comes back. We've done that every time so far, except for the time when we went down there and someone took all the sand and gave it to CRE.
It was a long, long time ago.
Really?
We won't even. go
Yeah,
there.
I said, it's just,
Pretty good.
because it's
Don't have
never
that.
gonna happen again, that's why.
It was before my time. I
We're
think.
never gonna do that, that's, why would we give away our sand? Okay. The question is, I mean, we usually stop our, the sheriff's patrols after Labor Day. Okay, with the way things are going right now, I don't see a reason to do anything different than that. Does anybody have any feeling about that?
Because we haven't had any more disturbances.
It's been pretty good and,
School's back in session, so.
yeah.
Is there any Pokemon Go things done?
I don't know, there might be. Could be.
And if anything does happen, we can always go back to the sheriff anyway, right?
That's right.
So, yeah.
Okay, so
Stop it after Labor Day.
that's what we'll do then. Our normal process is to stop them after Labor Day. We already talked about DPPOA ownership, I guess that should, whatever. Okay. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Before, I got one.
Yes, go ahead.
And I don't know if there's a, we have the signs as you drive in on Beretta that say $500 fine for littering. And yet, Beretta entryway is like the dumping ground for everybody's drink cup. But I discovered it's not just Beretta, but
Yeah, it's over.
is there a mechanism we can get whoever to issue a couple tickets to try to start getting the point across?
Do we have to get DNA tests on the cups?
Look at that house on Pilot, the gal gets out of her car and throws lunches into the woods. Okay, and I know exactly what it is, but what do I do with that?
I think the
Yeah, you
sheriff
can-
deputy has to witness.
You have to
Yeah.
call the police. and,
So they'll have to
lodge a
witness.
complaint.
Yeah, and that will do.
I know, yeah, that's all we can do.
See, it's probably, because writing tickets for speeding is easy because I'll just sit there and within 5 minutes, somebody's gonna speed, but that business, you know, they'd have to sit there
Yeah.
unless if you knew it was every day, it's off work or something.
Well,
I don't know what's the matter with people, why they live.
I mean, do we want to schedule
They're lazy.
the next meeting before you go anywhere?
Oh, sure, we can, yeah. You wanna do that? September, second week, first week, what do you think?
It's the 13th. The second Tuesday is the 13th. First Tuesday is the 6th.
I'm good with the third, let's see that, Gary. Yeah, I'm good with the 13th.
13th?
13th?
I'm not sure, I've got some travel coming up, but the dates of it in September are not sure right now, so
Actually, I do too, but I don't think mine's gonna be on the 15th.
I may not be here, but I guess that's not the end of the world. I'll
We'll
try to
appoint
do
you
it.
to something.
So you're gonna set it for the 13th?
13th, 7 o'clock.
And just a reminder, the membership meeting is the 21st, I'm sorry, of September.
Of September.
I believe it's a Wednesday night.
What is, do we have a particular, something I could do at that meeting, like present a budget or something, or it's just a quarterly meeting?
It's just a quarterly meeting.
Which one is the big one?
The big was June.
June, or,
You say the 21st?
Yes.
7 p.m.?
Yes.
I think I already have it. I do.
That's a membership meeting,
Yeah.
the 21st.
Yes.
Yeah, September one's pretty sedate. A lot of times we don't even have a quorum. Not much going on. Anything else? Okay. I'll make the motion to go into executive session according to Maryland HOA Act, sections 11, paragraph B, 111, and citing section 4, which is consultation with board members about other legal matters. And I think, what was the other one? Oh, and number 6, which is consideration of terms or conditions of business transaction in the negotiation stage. We're going to talk about the STD. So that, I made the motion. Do I need a second?
Second.
Okay. And I need a vote. All those in favor? Anybody say nay?
Do you want one to say?
This is,
You won't.
okay.